Over a year ago, my brother found out my little niece was not his biological daughter, something his witch of an ex-girlfriend had lied to him about. After finding out, he basically cut off all contact with his ex and my niece, moved out of their shared apartment, and refused to have anything else to do with them. I, 30 male, have mixed feelings about that, but I wasn't the one cheated on or lied to, so I can't say I understand his complicated emotions. The rest of my family, like my parents and other siblings, also cut off all contact, so basically the only family my niece knew her entire life was not involved anymore. It didn't feel right for me to do that too. I loved my niece since the day she was born. I'm her godfather and everything. Even if we're not biologically related, the idea of not being in her life anymore hurt. So I stuck around. My brother was always against me being involved, but in the end it became one of those things we don't have a problem with as long as we don't talk about it. Even if I hated interacting with her mom, I still got time to spend with my niece and take her out. Before all this happened, my niece's mom had been struggling with health problems, and now we're learning that her time is limited. She has no other family, so she's asking if I'd take over as my niece's legal guardian once she's not here anymore. We haven't started the legal process yet, but I've already agreed I'll take care of her. My parents are completely against this since it means my niece will be in my life permanently, and I'd be an awful person for putting my brother in that kind of position. I'd never force them to meet, but it does mean from now on I'd have to keep my distance from him since he still wants nothing to do with her. My brother found out about this too, and he's furious. I've gotten an earful from him about how I'm the worst brother ever and a selfish idiot for taking in the one person he wants no involvement with. Honestly, I knew this wouldn't make him happy at all, but the level of hate I'm getting from my family is not what I expected. I really can't see myself not taking her in because it's either me or foster care. So when he gave me that ultimatum, him or her, I ended up going for her. Still haven't heard the end of it from everyone else for betraying my brother again as his ex did. It's getting harder and harder to not feel like a total idiot for doing this, and not sure anymore. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. That little girl needs one adult who loves her unconditionally, and that's you. Anyone who chooses to send you hate over this loving choice can go pound salt. You made the best choice you possibly could, and you can cut anyone out of your life who doesn't support you. Plus, your brother needs help if he thinks that punishing the little girl is the right answer. He helped raise her. He and her family are who she knew to be hers. I understand it's painful for him, but he needs to rein himself in. Your brother needs to go get himself a dictionary and look up the word selfish so he can learn what it actually means. He might be surprised to see a picture of himself next to the definition. Family is not necessarily blood. Chosen family is oftentimes much more rewarding. You're one amazing person, OP. How can a man raise a child for 6 years and then just drop all contact when he learns she's not his? I understand being hurt. I understand the mother did a terrible thing, but the little girl didn't ask to be born. He was the only father she had, and he just ghosted her. Not the idiot, OP. I'm glad someone is thinking of the kid. Not the idiot. You are doing a good thing, but that doesn't negate the fact that this is probably the most painful thing that has ever happened to your brother in his life. Probably messed him up long term. He can't be completely free of this to move on because of you. I agree, it's not the girl's fault. She is innocent and blameless, but Opie's brother is justifiably hurt, and I wouldn't blame him if every time he saw that little girl, he was reminded about the fact that the person he loved betrayed and lied to him for 6 years. I wouldn't blame him for not wanting that reminder of the most messed up part of his life. There's a lot of background to this, but the short version is that I, now 27, got pregnant 10 years ago, stayed with the baby daddy, had another kid with him, then he dumped me. Mum, then 39, now 49, said some horrible things and refused to act like a grandma to my 2 kids. I'm now married to someone else and we had a baby back in January. Now I've had a child in wedlock, Mum wants to be a grandma. I can't find a place to mention this organically, but my husband also had a child before, a toddler, who Mum treats the same as my older kids. I didn't even tell her when I had my newborn. She found out, along with everyone else, when I announced the birth on social media a couple of weeks ago. The actual birth occurred a few months ago. We held off announcing until last month. When we announced it on Facebook, this was also when Mum learned that the baby had been born. I already told Dad and Stepmom personally. This caused a fight between us, and I blocked her for a bit. I've unblocked her a few days ago, went to her profile, and literally the top 10 posts are just about being a grandma. I then made a few passive-aggressive comments on her posts about how she's been a grandma for almost a decade now, and she's never met my newborn. A few hours later, I saw my comments had been deleted, so I posted on my page that I was incredibly grateful to my baby's grandparents, my dad, my stepmom, and my husband's parents, for all the love and support they'd shown me, my husband, my kids, and this baby, and how grateful I was for family. A few people were like, "OP, you forgot your mum," and I just responded that everyone who should be mentioned is mentioned already. Mum has called me and yelled and cried over the phone, saying I'm a horrible daughter, and making her feel and look like an idiot mother and grandmother, and I need to take the post down. I refused. This has caused a schism, with several people thinking I shouldn't have aired our dirty laundry in public, that Mum's posts do nothing to affect me while my post was designed to hurt Mum, so I should take my post down, while the other camp thinks that she deserved it, and I merely corrected the public record. She only wants to be grandma to the baby. The older kids are not allowed to call her grandma because it makes her feel old. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Grandparents who think they can selectively choose when to be grandparents don't deserve the title. Keep her blocked and don't post pics of little one online because she will find a way to steal them and put them on her social media. Maybe block her number too and stop engaging with her online, passive-aggressively or otherwise. I mean, I disagree with putting everything on Facebook because I generally think that people don't need to know your family's ins and outs, but she did start it. It would, however, be obvious she's an idiot grandparent when she never sees the baby anyway. Still, I get that you don't want people to be confused about it from the outside. Not the idiot. And if she's not willing to have a relationship with all your kids, don't let her near any of them. She sounds like a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. Good luck. Everyone's the idiot here. Your stance is completely reasonable. If your mom can't or won't love all her grandkids, she doesn't get to be a grandma to just one, but plastering drama on Facebook is tacky. Ultimately, you can't control what she posts. The best you can do is try to make sure she never gets hold of any photos of baby. Refuse to give her updates on baby, block her friends, and move on with your life. My sister-in-law and I do not get along. We used to be great friends in college and I met my husband through her, but she changed. She's now obsessed with being the perfect mom, sews all her kids' clothes, feeds them all organic vegan food, homeschools, etc. All of that's fine and I don't really care what she chooses to do, but she is insanely judgmental. She constantly makes passive-aggressive comments about the fact that I didn't have a natural childbirth, that my kid has been in daycare since he was 12 weeks, that I work really long hours, that we feed our son fast food, he really likes Chick-fil-A, and I see no reason why he can't have this occasionally, and so many other things. Needless to say, I generally choose not to spend time with her. My in-laws have a lake house that's not very convenient to where we live, so we don't go there often. However, my mother-in-law requested we all go for her birthday now that we're all vaccinated, and we haven't been together in over a year. My husband decided to rent a boat for one of the days to go fishing with my son. Of course, my nieces wanted to go too, and originally we were fine with it. But then my sister-in-law said they weren't allowed to go without her, so she had to come too. Well, I really didn't want to spend like 8 straight hours with my sister-in-law in the middle of a lake on a small boat, so we told her the boat couldn't accommodate that many people, although it was kind of an obvious lie. My nieces had a meltdown because they were missing out on a fun all-day boat trip. We ended up just going without them because my sister-in-law wouldn't budge. Well, it's been a few weeks now and pretty much my husband's entire family is united in their belief that we are gigantic idiots. They said we obviously lied to keep sister-in-law off the boat and that we purposefully deprived our nieces of a fun outing. Apparently, our nieces have also been asking why we don't like them anymore. I feel zero regrets for excluding my sister-in-law, but my nieces are good kids and we love them very much. Now I feel like we were the idiots for making them feel like we didn't want them to come along with us. To be clear, I'm not judging my sister at all for her decision not to allow her kids to spend all day on a boat without her. I think it would have been safe, 2 adults familiar with boat safety, 3 young kids. I get why she wouldn't be comfortable with that. My main issue was that I didn't want to listen to her make jabs about my parenting and life choices all day. I'll probably get downvoted, but everyone's the idiot here. She's pushy and judgmental, so obviously not a saint here. You told a blatant lie so you could get out of articulating your feelings like a grown-up. Also, if you told the girls that they could go, this was probably a massive blow to their weekend. You shouldn't tell kids yes to things if you can't back it up, and if you must cancel, telling an obvious lie makes things 1000% worse. Where's your husband in all of this? He was the one who rented the boat. I'm assuming he didn't want to spend 8 hours on a boat with his judgmental sister too. Your nieces will get over it. Tell them that they are amazing kids and that you love them, and not taking them on a boat trip isn't an indication of how you feel about them. Your sister-in-law can rent a boat and take them out instead of relying on you for entertainment, being the perfect mum and all. Not the idiot. Not the idiot. As a vegan, don't bring a vegan fishing. I can't think of a worse setup for a bad outcome. Your sister-in-law sounds insufferable. It's completely understandable that you did not want to be stuck on a boat with her all day. There was nothing wrong with having the one day for just your nuclear family. As for the nieces asking why you don't like them anymore, I wouldn't be surprised if they were prompted to ask that by their mother. You are the idiot. You're a grown woman. You can just nod and enjoy your children having fun with their cousins. If what she says is bothering you so much, my guess is it's because you're insecure about it. And by the way, you accuse her of being judgmental, but you come across as a huge one yourself. Our son is 19 and adopted. Everyone thinks he's our bio kid, but people have asked which side of the family he got his nose from. It's not ugly, he has a button nose, and his mom and I had more prominent noses. His preference is that people don't know he's adopted and assume he's our bio kid, so he hates the nose questions. He recently asked us, we're not together, if we would pay for a nose job. His mom said sure, but that meant that she wasn't going to chip in to get him a car. To her, it's less about money and more about his changing his nose that she doesn't think needs fixing. He's going back to school in the fall, so clearly he needs a car and wants a car. I agreed with his mom that a nose job was stupid. My son later convinced me about the nose job when he compared it to getting my vision corrected. It wasn't medically necessary, but boy did it change my life to never wear glasses. I was set free. I felt better and started living more healthily, i.e. going to the gym. I realized it was the same thing as getting his nose done. He put thought into it and just wanted to feel better about himself. I didn't think it was fair to give him a choice between that and a car. I decided to pay for the nose job out of my savings. His mom had a fit and refused to help pay for a car, so I paid for that as well. It left me dead broke. He had the operation a month ago, and it looks really good. He's even having girls hitting on him. He was always good looking, but his confidence went through the roof. His mom accused me of backstabbing her and going over her head. Am I the idiot? It's hard to say if you're an idiot or not because I don't understand the point of the nose job. You said it wasn't ugly, just small. Unless it wasn't functioning correctly, then it's not the same as your eye surgery. You had glasses to correct a vision problem. The surgery fixed that, so you no longer need glasses. What was wrong with your son's nose and how did it hinder him? If the girls are hitting on him, is it about the nose job or his confidence? From what you posted, it sounds like you did go behind your wife's back. Not the idiot. Personally, I think going broke to get your adult child unneeded plastic surgery in a car is spoiling. But you and the mum aren't together, and he's an adult, so no custody shared. So how you spend your money is your choice. Your ex gets no say in that. P.S. Not every college student has a car, particularly that young. Yeah, I would have expected my kid to have saved a bit himself for both of these significant purchases. I would have gladly helped if it fit my budget. But going broke for a nose job and a car is just dumb. Just because you cannot understand why seeing the wrong features in the mirror causes this kid distress. Because you cannot empathize, that doesn't actually mean they're wrong. It suggests you're convinced that your opinion and perspective is the only one with value. That's remarkably self-absorbed and wrong. I would never ask someone about their kid features like that. His nose could be from someone else in your family. Seriously? And it is your money. You do what you want with it. You aren't together and you owe her nothing. You're an awesome dad for paying for the nose and the car. She can go cry to someone else. Not the idiot. The talk which I'm referring to is puberty, since my nephew is almost getting to that age. I'll be using fake names, by the way. I've been friends with my brother-in-law, Robert, since we were in high school. Robert is a trans guy, born female, then transitioned to male, and started his journey 14 years ago. After that, he and my sister started dating and got married. My nephew, Kyle, was born a few years later. So my nephew is at that age where I guess my sister wants him to know more details about puberty, and she asked me if I could. I was confused why she turned to me and not her husband. Her reasoning was that obviously Robert doesn't know all the details about what guys go through. Supposedly he agreed but was too embarrassed to say so, and that's why she asked if we could keep this between us. Honestly, thinking back now, I don't know how she thought that'd be a foolproof plan if I went ahead and talked to Kyle. Obviously Robert would have known he got the info from someone. Anyways, it still didn't seem right to me, so I went ahead and asked Rob himself if they really did want me to be the one to talk to my nephew about this. And what a surprise! He didn't have a clue my sister was asking me to do this. Frankly, he seemed hurt, and now I'm hearing from my sister and my parents that they have had some big fights about this. Robert's angry and hurt she went behind his back and thought he wouldn't be able to properly talk to Kyle about those things. My sister isn't happy that I went to Robert about this when she told me not to. Even if it was for different reasons, not wanting him to find out, I still feel like it's brought on some drama, and in a way being labelled the idiot for putting myself in the middle of this instead of listening to my sister and not going to Rob about this. I'm not sure how bad the fighting is, but it's enough that my sister has sent me multiple long texts expressing how angry she is. Was I the idiot in the end for going to him after she said not to? Your sister caused this mess. What you did was above board, not the idiot. It never needed to get this way either. She had a point that Robert wouldn't know firsthand what it was like to go through puberty at that age, and you would. But why on earth didn't she discuss this with Robert and suggest you both speak to Kyle about your shared and different experiences with becoming a man? Both are important perspectives. That would be so much better. Info. Is it possible that sister was trying to save her husband from having hurt feelings? Gender dysphoria is serious, and hearing from your wife that she thinks that you're not equipped with knowing the male experience can be devastating. But equally, she's doing her husband a disservice and causing equal devastation by going behind his back and not giving him a chance. Sounds like she hasn't even discussed it with him, just went straight to her, I'm assuming, cisgender brother and didn't even have an adult talk with her husband. If she has accepted him for who he is, there is no need to get someone else doing the talk. Not the idiot. I can kind of see where she was coming from, as he didn't experience puberty in the same way as most fellas, but going behind his back like that was awful. You were right not to get involved in parenting issues without both parents' consent.